Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in. Got a question the other day that said how to heal from a breakup. Now, this is not something that you can take lightly. This is not something that a 7-minute video will solve. So sit down, get your pen and pad, and really understand this, because one of the biggest things that I see a lot of people in my line of work as a professional relationship coach, one of the biggest things I see is a lot of people say, hey, I want to heal, but then they don't really want to do the work. And so you have that picture of the person sitting on the couch just eating potato chips and Oreos and just crying while watching sappy love movies and listening to sad love songs and just sitting there crying. And that's never going to get you where you need to go. If you curl up in the fetal position and just lie in the bed crying, you're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to come to a place to where you are actively feeding your mind. So understand this. When you're healing from a breakup, the first thing that you really have to understand is a soul tie. Like, you have to realize that you have a real emotional connection. This is an emotional connection, it's a spiritual connection, and it may be a physical connection. You have to realize that it's real. It becomes almost like an addiction, like a drug. And a lot of times what we don't understand is that sometimes it's an addiction and not love. A lot of times what you're feeling that you're calling love is being mislabeled. And the reason why you're confusing it is because an addiction can feel like love. And you have to understand that. So you're missing that release. You're missing some of the drama. Sometimes an argument can make you feel appreciated. There are attention-seeking behaviors that we will show to get yelled at, to get cursed at. I've met women who say, look, if he doesn't put hands on me, he doesn't love me. When I say put hands on me, I mean put hands on me. And they feel that that's love. A lot of men will push every button they can to get their woman to yell and scream and curse because he feels like that is love. And that's because those individuals grew up seeing toxic relationships and began to believe that that's what love is. So you got to understand first that what you're feeling is not necessarily love, because it can be confused. So once you realize that, because this is also what you have to understand, is with love, if it's real love, you won't lose it. If it's real love, it's going to come back, and it's going to come back stronger. If it's real love, you don't go through breakup to make up countless times, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. If it's real love, that's not how love works. See, love is not something that induces pain and trauma. Think about that. When you think about love, if you have a child and you love your son or your daughter, you love your child, are you going to abandon them every 6 months and allow them to go through the angst and worry that comes with being abandoned, being walked out on? No, you're not going to do that unless you have some type of issue, some type of addiction to something that's causing you to do it, because that is stronger than your love for your child. See, what you have to realize is sometimes an addiction can be stronger than love. So you may want to go back to a situation, or a person may want to come back to you because of the addiction and not the love. So hey, really sit and understand this and really evaluate first and ask yourself, am I losing real love? Can real love be lost? Is this real love that I'm letting go of? Or is this toxicity? Is this pain? Is this a lack of self-love? Is this immaturity? Is this irresponsibility? Is this disrespect? Is this abuse that I'm letting go of? What really am I letting go of? Am I letting go of an amazing time filled with faithful, healthy love, laughter, communication? Am I letting go of something that just awakens me to my core and encourages me and inspires me to live my best life? Am I letting go of that? Really ask yourself what you're letting go of. And that's going to help you identify and understand if you are trying to get over love or if you're trying to actually tap into self-love and self-respect. Because that's one of the biggest mistakes that I see happen is a lot of times people look back at their relationship and equate a relationship to love. A lot of people think a relationship or having history with a person or a long-term relationship is synonymous with love. And that's not the case. It can be, but that's not always the case. You can have history, you can have chemistry, you can have a long-term relationship, you can have marriage, you can have children together, you can have mutual friends, you can have great relationships with one another's family and still not have real love. And that is what has to be understood, is that if it is falling apart, if it fell apart, then it wasn't real love. That's not to say that in every case that real love can't be built in the future. But you have to ask yourself, is it even worth trying? You have to ask yourself, how many times have we tried? If you only tried once, okay, you may have another chance in you. But if you tried multiple times, the relationship has ran its course, and you have to come to that understanding. Now, once you come to that understanding, the next thing you have to do, look, we already past 7 minutes. I told you, you can't fix this really easy. Hold on, let me close my window. Commercial break. Sometimes my neighbors be walking their dog, looking in here, trying to see what's going down in here. So the next thing you have to realize is when you're trying to heal from a breakup, you are going to have to cut all ties. You're going to have to cut all ties. So the only time there's an exception to this is when you're dissolving a business, which the business has to be dissolved, or you're deciding who keeps the pet, or you are having to sell a house, or you're having to break a lease. You're going to have some extenuating circumstances that arise sometimes when you're healing from a breakup. But understand this. And then the biggest is when you have children together. If you have none of those things together, if you have nothing that's tying you, then you have to cut all ties. All ties. If you have something that's tying you, that may be a whole nother video. You may need a one-on-one session. You may need to visit me on mymentor.life and do a one-on-one session, because you're gonna need something, a specific plan. But understand this, by cutting all ties, what that means is you are not texting, you're not talking on the phone, you're not talking in email, and you're unfriending, unfollowing, whatever it is, on social media. That's step one. Step two is you are getting distance from mutual friends and from their family members. So what that means is you let these individuals know, hey, I love you, care for you, but I gotta heal. So please Understand I'm going to be off the map. Everything's going fine. I'm going to be okay. But when I talk to you, it makes me think about my ex, him or her. And that affects me, and it causes me to have to start over. What you have to understand is that your ex, and it could be you, but some people will use their friends or their family members to keep tabs on you. So I know, as being a former grown boy, I'm very familiar with men telling their sister or their mother or their male friend or female friend, hey, give her a call, check on her, call her and check on her. The friend or the family member, they really don't care for you. They really don't care for you because they met you through your ex. So they really don't care. I know you may think y'all best friends and all of that. That was all for their family member. That was all for your ex. That the reason why their friends or their family became close to you. Please understand that. I know you want to believe, I'm just best friends with his sister. Oh my goodness, I love his mom like my own. She's like my second mother. She calls me her daughter. Listen, I know that's what you want to believe. They do not care about you. Understand that. It's just not how humans are built. It's not people turn their back on their blood. Understand this. Whatever their family member want them to do, that's what they're gonna do. So if your ex tells them to cut you off, you'll be dropped like a bad habit. So when they keeping in touch, it's with the blessings of your ex. And what your ex knows is that by you talking to their sister, their brother, their mother, father, grandmother, aunt, uncle, best friend, by you talking to them, what your ex knows is that keeps you stuck. It keeps you attached. It strengthens the soul tie, the emotional bond, the emotional tie that you have to your ex. It keeps it intact. You can't sever it if you are in touch with their friends or family. Understand that. Point blank period. There's no way to get around that. So you gotta at least create distance. And this distance depends on the depth of your relationship. So if your relationship was 3 months, you may only need distance for a month. And after that, it's not that you go back to being besties with their friends or family, with your ex's friends or family, but you may be able to be cordial. But you're gonna have to sever ties. Realize, love is a gamble. And sometimes when you gamble, you lose your shirt. What I mean by that, you lose everything. So when you lose a relationship, you lose everything that came with that relationship. If you want to move on and have a new, healthy, fulfilling relationship. No one in their right mind is going to be with someone who is still attached to their ex through something that is in their control. See, if you have children together, that's out of your control. Having a pet or a business or a house or an apartment or a car together, that's all in your control. The only thing you cannot get rid of is your child that you have with your ex. That's the only exception. Anything else, a new person is not gonna, if they love and care for themselves and respect themselves, they're not gonna want to get caught up in your little drama. Not at all. So understand that. You got to cut the ties on social media and on the phone, and then you got to get distance from mutual friends and their family. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Once you do those 2 steps, if your ex, if you say, okay, I'm not going to text or call my ex, but my ex is texting me, my ex keeps emailing me, Then the next thing you have to do is you have to block. You got to block your ex if they continue to call and to email or email. You got to block them. Then if they continue to do that from different numbers, now they calling from a new number, somebody else's number, you have to change your number. You got to change your number. And you got to change your email address. And you got to notify the people you want to keep in touch with of that. Guess what? I know sometimes you're going to say, well, everybody has my number. I don't want to change my number just for my ex. I've had this number since 8th grade. Okay, so what? You trying to heal or not? You want to stay stuck or not? Change your number. Not that many people calling you anyways. Okay, it's probably 10 people calling you. And it's another way for them to reach you. If they really want to reach you, they know your mama. They know your cousin. They know your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle. They can reach you. So here's the thing. You got to change your number if they continue to reach out from other numbers after you've blocked their number. If you block them on social media, if they're reaching out on social media, you got to block them on social media. They're going to get fake accounts or going to watch you from other people's accounts, but that doesn't matter because you don't know. If you start getting messages from other accounts, then you block those accounts. Okay, now, the same thing happens with friends and family. If you tell their friends and family, listen, I need some distance. Or if you continue to talk to them cordially, but when you talk to them, they bring up your ex, then you got to cut them off. Then you may have to block them if it continues to go on. When you get past all of that, if they still popping up, still coming, not respecting your space, not respecting your decision, that's when you got to get the RO, the restraining order. That's when you got to go to that next step. That's your last resort, but that's what you're going to have to do if they still coming at you. Still doing whatever it takes. Now, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Now, this the caveats and nuances now in this is if your ex is doing everything in their power to get back in touch with you, and you know that you cut off the relationship for something small, it wasn't like a big offense like cheating or abuse. If it wasn't something huge and you cut it off for something smaller than those two big offenses, then it could be that your ex is very, very sincere about the mistake that they made and they want to make changes. That's another video on what to do if you give your ex a second chance. But again, that's only if you left them for something other than cheating or abuse. Okay, see, I'm saying the word fast, trying to throw the system off because you ain't really allowed to say the word to demonetize your video or strike it or what have you. So understand that. So if it's something other than that, that's not that. Now, if it's something other than that, that's equally as bad, then you get it. But if it's something other than that, that's not on that level of those two things, then, and in your heart, you left them, made it look real, but you were doing it to really send them a message, to let them know that you're not with the games. And that if they're with the games, they're going to get left. Regardless of how many children y'all have can have a football team worth of kids. You're going to leave. And so now they may be sincere. Now, if the relationship, this also another caveat here is if you left inside of 12 months. So if you had to leave inside of 12 months to really send that message, and if they're doing everything, they jumping hurdles, jumping through fiery hoops to get your attention, to get back with you, then that could also be a sign that they are sincere. Now understand, the first time you went to the casino to gamble, you lost all your money in your pocket. and maybe the money that's on your card that you got out the ATM. The next time you go back, you putting up your house and your clothes and all of your collateral. So understand that when you go back, it's double or nothing. If you give your ex another chance and they're not serious and they just coming to get you back out of ego, walking away that next time could hurt twice as bad, could do twice as much damage. So be very, very careful before you go back. Make sure that you know without a shadow of a doubt that this is the love of your life and the only person that you're intended to be with. Do not go back out of weakness. Do not go back out of loneliness. Do not go back out of addiction over love instead of love. Do not go back for any other reason other than you know without a shadow of a doubt that this is the person of your dreams and they made an honest mistake, and you can forgive them wholeheartedly and love them as if they've never hurt you before, and start over fresh and brand new with a clean slate. Unless you can do that, then keep going about your business. Do not go back. Now, after you have cut them off on the phone, you cut them off on social media and email, you've cut off their friends and their family. Now you have complete separation. You have complete separation. Understand this. In some cases, because I get these questions, we go to the same church, or we work on the same job, or we live in the same apartment complex. Guess what? You're going to have to move. Hate to tell you, I know you don't want to hear it. It is not the end of the world. Okay? Getting a transfer on your job is not the end of the world. It's other jobs. Okay? If you want to heal. Now, if the relationship was under a year, you don't have to do anything drastic like that. You don't have to pick up and move. But if it went longer than a year, you got into 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years you trying to get over, you're going to have to make drastic adjustments. The reason being is because the soul tie is so strong. That emotional bond is so strong. Imagine this. Imagine somebody like to play with their nose. Okay? When I say play with their nose, I'm talking about the candy. I'm talking about that. Talking about that there, okay? The powder, okay? Imagine somebody's like to play with their nose. Now, let's say they trying to come off of that. But let's say it's a house in the neighborhood that's where they went to get their hit. If they live right next door to that house, how long you think they gonna last? And they send the D-man over there and he, hey, got that for you. Got that for you, hey. Got that for you, hey. Let me know now. How long you think that person gonna last? If they lose their job, if they lose a family member, something happened that just put them in a bad mood, they walking right over there to the dope boy house. Hey, I just need a hit. Just $5. Just give me a nickel. Hey, just one time. Get that in their system. Now they throw it off their path. They relapse. That's the same thing gonna happen. You're gonna be walking back into your apartment. You're gonna see your ex. He done ran 3 miles. He got his shirt off. Everything glistening. Got the man curve glistening. Got pecs and all kind of bike out glistening. And you just, it's your week of the month. Now I ain't talking about the one where your red friend visiting you. I'm talking about the week of the month where you ovulating. And you see that and and he looked like a tall glass of ice water in the Sahara Desert. And he just, hey, how are you? It's great to see you. Great to see you. You know, I've been meaning to reach out to you, and I really apologize about everything that happened. And do you think maybe you have a few minutes to talk? Guess what? And whether that happened at the job, in the parking lot, whether it happened at the church, after the pastor just preached the word on forgiveness, or whether it happened at your apartment complex after he just got off his run, and you used to see him work out. So guess what? And this vice versa, if you're a man watching this, just invert it, okay? Just invert it. I'm tired of y'all asking me, make a video for the men. And then the men, hey, you need to make more video for 95% of my audience is women. So just invert it. It go both ways. I just don't have time to be saying his or hers all the time, okay? Understand that. So guess what? You're going to have to make that move. You're going to have to make that move, because when you try love, you taking a gamble. And sometimes when you gamble, you lose. So understand that if it didn't work out, it may take drastic measures for you to heal, for you to break the soul tie. Now listen, breaking the soul tie is just figuratively speaking. It doesn't actually go anywhere. Like, if you really were tied to that person emotionally, spiritually, and or physically, it's always going to be there. You just may not feel it the same, but it's always going to be there. So to minimize it to the point that you don't feel it, that it doesn't affect you every day, you're going to have to make some drastic changes, take some drastic measures to heal from the breakup. Now understand this. After you've done all of those things that you needed to do, for one, you got to stop making excuses about what you don't want to do. Oh, I love my pastor. I don't want to change church. So what? Watch him online for 6 months then. If you stop going to church, your ex might stop going to the church. Now your friend from church say, hey, such and such stopped coming to church. Yeah, probably like 3 months ago. You're like, yes. Okay, boom. Now you could go back to your church. You just took a little hiatus. You watching online on Sundays, or you was going to another church that's equally as good. God, wherever you go, however this works. And then once you've done all of that, the next thing that you have to do is what you're doing right now. If you got to this point in the video, that means you're serious. Guess what? That lets me know that you're going to eventually heal, because you're doing the work. Now, understand this. Think about this. Anything you learn in life, let's say you learn how to do something from someone who is self-taught, and they taught you how to do coding and billing the way that they do it, but they didn't go to school for it. They just kind of created their system. When you learn that, and then the auditor or inspector comes in and says, hey, you're doing this all wrong. Did you take the ACB training 101? And you're like, no, actually I didn't, because my uncle owns the business, so I was kind of grandfathered in. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to need you to take this training. And let's say you go take that training, and now you learn the right way to do it. Guess what? For every new piece of information that you learn, it replaces an old piece of information that you thought you knew. That is what you have to do when you are healing. For every one of these videos that you watch, even if it's only one sentence, you're going to learn something new. When you learn something new, it replaces something old. So where you thought arguing was a part of a relationship, when you watch me, you're going to learn arguing is not a part of a relationship. That you don't have to argue to be in a relationship. My wife and I don't argue. We've been married 13 years. Read the book, A Woman's Influence. Make sure you buy this book. We don't argue. We have disagreements and we have discussions. But we only have disagreements if it's a kingdom issue, meaning a life-altering issue. We're not going to sit and go into a whole argument over me leaving the toilet seat up, or over her leaving something on the floor, or me not remembering to take the trash out. we're not going to have an argument over that. And a lot of relationships argue over that stuff. Because like, how many times have I had to tell you, let the toilet seat down? I almost fell in there and drowned. The water comes up high and I fell in there and I had to use a life raft to get out. I'm sick of this. And people will take a molehill and turn it into a mountain. And that's not a healthy relationship, and that's not a part of a healthy relationship. So when you learn that, wow, Tony and his wife has been married 13 years and they're happy and they don't argue, meaning they don't yell at each other, meaning no one storms away, meaning they don't go to bed mad, meaning no one's slamming doors, meaning they don't curse at each other. Or what? Are you serious? So you don't have to have that in a relationship? No, you don't. So when you learn that, when you learn that a relationship is not breakup to make up, that you shouldn't have to go through that 3, 4, 5 times. When you learn that a relationship is not having to forgive cheating, because a man's gonna be a man, so you gotta forgive cheating 3, 4, 5, 6 times. When you learn that. So when you learn what is a healthy relationship, you're going to realize that what you had was not healthy. It was not even real. It wasn't realistic, but because that's all you saw growing up, or because you saw nothing growing up, or because you were not educated growing up about the inner workings, the behind the scenes of your parents' seemingly perfect relationship, but they didn't talk to you about conflict resolution. So because you were not prepared, you thought what you had is what comes with love and what comes with a relationship, and you've been lied to. So in this season, after you've done all those other things, what you're going to have to do is create a growth schedule. And so what I mean by that is, in your growth schedule, you may have, awaken at this time in the morning. Sit still, meditate for 15 minutes. Then work out for 20 minutes. Squats, lunges, push-ups, jog in place, jump rope, whatever it is. Then shower. Wash your face, brush your teeth, shower. Then get dressed. You may have, on your commute to work, listen to audio. You could play a video like this while you're driving. You don't have to be looking me in the face. You can play a podcast, something that's going to move your life forward. You can listen to an audio book. So you're growing on the way to work. When you're at work, at lunch, maybe lunch and journal time. Or it could be lunch and learn, to where you are listening to a video on your lunch break. See, in your healing, you may have to tell your friends, like, listen, I'm doing some healing work right now, so don't get spooked out or feel like I'm going crazy or anything, but I'm not going to be eating lunch with you all, because I'm packing my lunch, I'm eating in the car, and I'm learning and writing as I'm going through this process. Make people respect your peace and respect your process. Don't do that. You're acting like a hermit. Like, come over here and hang out with us. What we did, we snuck vodka in the water bottles. Come on. Okay. So no, you have to let them know, no, I'm going to be in the car and I'm doing a lunch and learn for the next month or the next week or the next, however long it's going to take. You do that. So you have to create some separation before elevation, because in your healing process, you got to be careful who's speaking to you, because your old raggedy friend who's in her deadbeat relationship, because she deadbeat, broke, busted, and disgusted, looking like Who Shot John and Forgot to Kill Him, because she over there like that, she encouraging you to give your sorry no good man another chance, because she keep giving her sorry no good man a chance. So see, you have to be very careful of who you listening to. Your auntie, your grandmother, your mother, who crucified their self-will, their self-love, their self-respect to be in this relationship for 30, 40, 50 years and think that now they need a pat on the back and a cookie for making it 50 years in a relationship that was dead after year one. They're going to convince you that all you going through and all you went through is a part of a relationship. No, it's not. A relationship should make you feel alive. It should invigorate you. It should make you feel free, not like a captive. It should make you feel like love. You should feel your highest self, like you want to be the best, do the best, strive. You should have energy to produce. You hear me? That's what a relationship should make you feel like. Anybody that's telling you otherwise, they've never experienced real love like I have. They don't know real love. All they know is pain. All they know is average and mediocrity. They don't know greatness. They don't know excellence. Because I'm here to tell you, once you experience real love, you'll never ever sip from the cup of mediocre love again. So understand this. Real love is not a fairy tale. It's a reality. Healthy love that you want to wake up to every morning and go to bed to every night, it's a reality. That doesn't mean that it's perfect, meaning that you're not going to have a disagreement. Meaning that, I want my son to play football and my wife don't want him to play football for a season. That's a disagreement. I want my wife to stop yelling and screaming at the soccer games at the top of her lungs so that this man don't have to tell her to shut up, and then I got to get up and punch him in the mouth and risk going to jail when I'm trying to feed my family and be a healthy, successful life coach. So that's a disagreement. This real disagreements, okay? But so you're going to have disagreements, but you hear the extent of that? These ain't deal breakers. This ain't deal breaker disagreements, okay? I want to buy me an old school car right now. My wife kind of like, do you really need to get an old school car right now? But I want me a little project. She really ain't too excited about it. So that's the kind of stuff that you deal with in a healthy relationship. Not another woman calling her phone, texting her phone, another man calling my phone, texting my phone. Not me staying out all night. Not me cheating in the inbox on Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Not her cheating on the inbox. Not cheating in person in real life. Yeah, those things should not be in a relationship. Not me talking to my ex or her talking to her ex. Those things you shouldn't have to deal with in a healthy relationship. So understand that. So you got to be careful who you listening to, who you talking to, and where are they speaking from. See, this is what you got to understand when you're getting new knowledge. People speak from where they are. So if you want to go get counseling because it's covered by your insurance, you need to know, is this counselor happily married? Because if not, I've had people hire me for coaching and they're telling me that their therapist told them that they should go back to the relationship and give it another try and forgive him because he didn't mean to cheat, and cheating isn't the end of the world, and that it's not that bad, and that they're blowing it out of proportion. And I'm like, see, that's why I try to tell y'all. It's a difference between someone who is a relationship coach. That's all they do. That's what they specialize in. And someone who is a therapist who one day they talking on depression, the next day they talking on anxiety, and then the next day they talking on relationships and ain't got a relationship themselves and got cheated on their last relationship and still bitter about that. And now in this relationship and got cheated on and went back with their cheater, and so gonna tell you it's okay, you could be with a cheater because that's just what men do. You got to be very careful who you listening to, whether it's a coach, counselor, or therapist, because it's coaches, counselors, and therapists. In every industry, you're going to have bad apples in every one of them. So what you got to say is, who are these YouTubers? Who are these podcasters? Who are these authors? Who are these coaches, counselors, therapists? And are they speaking from a place that I want to get to? If they're not where I want to be, then I got to be very careful with what they're telling me. Because see, this is the thing. Yes, a person can be single and give you healthy relationship advice. But when you have a healthy relationship, your depth of understanding is so much greater. That's why I tell people all the time, I stay in my lane. Women say, Tony, can you talk about being a woman in her 60s dating? I've never been a woman in my 60s dating. I've never met a man in his 60s dating women in their 60s. I've never dated a woman in her 60s. So no, I cannot talk to that specifically. I can speak on what I know, and if it applies, it applies. If it don't, it don't. But I can't pretend to be an expert on something that I don't have any experience with in any capacity. So that's why I tell people all the time, make sure the person you listening to is speaking from a healthy and whole place where they are knowledgeable, they are experienced, and they passionate in that space. So as you're getting this new knowledge on your growth schedule, we got all the way up to lunch. After, let's say you're going home, you even got to be careful with what music you listening to. So if you leaving a relationship and you listening to R&B, you're going to get the wrong messages from R&B. You're going to get the wrong messages. Pretty much the safest music, you listen to country, you're going to get the wrong message. The safest music going to be for you is contemporary Christian music. Music that is just talking about uplifting, forward thinking, moving forward, pressing on, growing, loving, basking in the love of the Lord. That's if you want to listen to some music. And that's if you want to hear lyrics. What I do is I listen to the Spa channel. I put on soundscapes on YouTube and let it play. They got 8-hour videos of soundscapes. When you riding in your car, if you just want to relax and think, just put on soundscapes. You know, Spa. If you got Sirius XM, put it on the Spa channel. Channel 6 to 8. See, I know the channel. You hear me? So I'm not telling you something I don't do. Now, this is the other thing. You got to be careful what you listening to. You got to be careful what you're watching. So if you're trying to heal from a relationship, you don't need to be watching Love is Blind on Netflix. You don't need to be watching Married in 90 Days, Naked and Afraid, Fiance of 90 Days, 90 Day Fiance. You don't need to be watching Lust and Hip Hop, Housewives, because you're not a housewife. And so you don't need to watch anything, any shows that deal with relationships. If you're going to watch something, let it be something that's going to help you build your business. Watch Shark Tank. Watch The Profit. Watch American Greed so it can keep you out of trouble and you don't get greedy while you building your business and chasing your ambition. And then other than that, you need to be watching videos that's going to push your life forward. Listen to podcasts. You need to be in a constant state of learning. And learning about life, learning about love, and learning about business, your personal branding. And now in this space where you're getting this new knowledge, get everything you could get for free. After getting all of your getting, make sure you get understanding, as the good book says. But then the next thing what you want to do is now, as you can save some money, or if you have some money, then you can go to the books. The books may be free, certain Audible books free if you got the Audible membership. Then you may have after that, then you're gonna have the hardback or the ebooks. You spending from 99 cents to $30 on a book. After you get the books in you, a woman's influence, that's for men and women. It's a woman's influence and got the purple on it, but men gonna be knocked off their socks when they read it. You read the books, and then you go to the coaching or the counseling, whichever one you want to do. Some people do both, and you may have to try multiple until you find the right fit. So now that's an upgrade in price, because from there you paying anywhere from $25 to $500 an hour. So You go around till you find the right person that you can talk to. In this space, you want to do this for 4 weeks straight, and then you may be able to graduate to every other week. Then you may be able to graduate to once a month. And that's how you want to do coaching with an individual. Try to do it by phone. Try to do it by phone. A lot of times people want to go in person. It's too much energy in person. If you sitting with somebody and they have a Jezebel spirit, men and women can have a Jezebel spirit, that's going to affect you. You're not going to even receive. If the person is extremely attractive to you and you sitting across from them, it's going to have your hormones running. You're not even going to receive, and you're going to be going to the office for the wrong reason. So, and the same thing with Skype. If you think the person is attractive, you're not going to receive the right way. So do it by phone so that you just could hear a voice. And if that voice sounds sexy, it's still going to throw you off a little bit. But at least you ain't got to hear that nice voice and look the person in the face. So him or her. So do your coaching, okay? Now, but while you're doing your coaching or your counseling, whichever, if you got insurance with your job, it'll take care of counseling or therapy. Life coaches can't accept insurance because life coaches are not certified through the state. Life coaching is not regulated. A life coach is a shade tree mechanic. A life coach, we talk through God. It's wisdom. A therapist is knowledge. They may also have wisdom, but they have knowledge. When I say knowledge, I mean they had to read books and get a degree and get a certification. A life coach could be somebody that can't even read and write, but they just have a wisdom from God, and they have a heart and a passion to help people. So insurance doesn't cover life coaching. It covers counseling and therapy. So whichever you can do, then do it. If you could do both, some of my clients do both, then do both. Now after that, that's when now you go into the season of building you. Go into the season of building you physically. And so what I mean here is this is where the 3 B's come in. The brain, the brand, the body. So the knowledge you're getting, that's the brain. You feeding your mind, you feeding your spirit. Now your brand, this is where if you working in the corporate world, this is where you're trying to climb the ladder. This is where you go get that certification you need. This is where you go to work 30 minutes early, you leave 30 minutes late, you go the extra mile where there is no traffic. You are speaking to everyone, you're smiling, you're looking pleasant, you got a bop in your step, you're bringing good energy to the office. The boss wants to elevate you just because of your energy and your effort. And then you add value. So if you know this particular certification your job encourages you to get, and they'll reimburse you or they'll pay for your continued learning, then do that. If you're not happy with the job that you're on, that's not your dream job, you don't want to be there, then that's when you need to start building your brand, working on your company. You can go to TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. You can take the Entrepreneurship with Purpose course. If you want to help others through your healing, you helping others will help you heal. So if you want to become a life coach, take the life coach certification, then join my mentor.life, put your link on all of your social media, and start coaching others. Start helping other people heal who may be in a worse state than you are. And they're just trying to get to where you at, because you on step 8, they on step 1. You see what I mean? They're trying to get to where you're at. So build your brand, your business. If that's a book, if it's a blog, if it's a physical product that you're selling, some leggings, if it's a milkshake bottle, whatever you trying to sell, some nail polish, whatever you're passionate about, build that. Get the knowledge on it, take the courses, hire the consultant, the business consultant. I do that as well because I'm started over 11 companies, got over 50 streams of income. Hire somebody that has done what you're trying to do. That's the space you build in you. At the same time, now here comes the body. You changing the way you eat if you eat unhealthy. If you drank too much tea and lemonade, too much Coca-Cola soda, too much coffee, you addressing the way what you put in your body. Then how do you work out? If you work out once a week, you work out once a month, you upping this to 3 times a week, even if that's just a 30-minute walk around your neighborhood, your cul-de-sac, your apartment complex, your building, whatever. Even if that's 30 minutes. Do 30 minutes of exercise 3 times a week, then try to get to 5 times, then try to get to 7 times a week. That you're doing a minimum of 30 minutes a day, even if it's just walking. You building your body. So now the brain, you got new knowledge. The brain, you either climbing the ladder, trying to climb the ladder in your business, or start your own business, or you doing both. You balancing the dream with the job until the dream replaces the job. I wrote a book called The Dream Chaser. It'll help you understand how to do that perfectly. It'll help you understand how I did it. So understand this, and then the body. So guess what? You put all this together. You go through these steps, and then you're just consistent. You just keep doing it. How long it will take for you to heal completely is determined by the length and the depth of your relationship. If your relationship went all the way to physical, then it's going to take longer. If it was verbal, it's going to take longer. Emotional, financial, spousal, any form of that A word, if it went there, it's going to take longer to heal from. If it didn't go there, but it was infidelity, that still can be a form of emotional abuse. Okay, so that's going to take some time to heal from. If it was just petty and you left because the person kept coming in too late, kept saying I'm going to call you at a certain time and didn't call, kept telling little white lies. If you left for something smaller than that, you're going to heal a lot faster. So, and then also the length. Because the longer you were on something, the harder it is to get off of it. So if it was 5-year relationship, see, once you cross the 1 year mark, it's typically going to take you about 1 year to heal. And the longer it was, you can add a month for every year it was. So 5 years could take you, a 5-year relationship could take you 1 year and 5 months to heal. That's if you're doing intense work, learning every day. Listen to a video every day or a podcast, audio, something every day. It could take you 1 year and 5 months to heal completely. Now, minimize any of the work. You listen to a video 3 times a week. Now you're looking at 2 years, 2.5 years. You don't do any coaching, no videos, you're not learning. Now you're looking at 5 years of healing, and you're not really healing. You just kind of growing numb to it. You're not even healing. So understand this. Now, if you're doing the intense work, you're talking to a seasoned professional about what you're going through, a seasoned professional. You reading the books, you watching the videos, you working on your dreams, your goals, your body, your brand, your brain. You doing all of that. You can heal in 6 months. You can heal in 6 months, record time, be healed, be renewed, refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to meet the love of your life and be able to enter that relationship healthy, whole, and confident. You hear me? Feeling good and able to love this new person as if you've never been hurt. You don't have to blame them for anything that they haven't done, accuse them of things they're not doing, hold grudges against them, and they've not even committed an offense. Why? Because you're healthy, you're whole, and you're healed. If you in a new relationship and you find yourself finding it hard to trust this person, believe this person, that means you haven't healed from your last relationship. You didn't do enough work for long enough. So understand that. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. Guess what? I know I talk about coaching. And if you need to hire a coach, you can visit my mentor.life. But what I want you to understand is that I'm giving you an hour of coaching every day. Free of charge. It's free to you. You might have to watch some advertisements to get that hour, but you're not paying any money out your pocket. So understand that this is coaching as well if you're not in a position to be able to afford coaching or counseling. That if you just focus on watching an hour a day, you actually learning and growing. Answering the questions that the video asks you to answer, even if you got to write the answer down in your journal. You actually doing the work, learning and growing from the comfort of your home or car or wherever you at. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. God bless you. Make sure you check the links in the description for all your needs. If you want to become a life coach, if you want to hire a life coach, I have those things there. If you have not ordered your copy of A Woman's Influence, please do me that favor. Do me that favor and order this. The feedback I've been hearing, it's been overwhelming and just so humbling. I'm just blown away. So thank you all to those of you who have read it and left a 5-star review. Hey, it means the world. God bless you. We'll talk soon.